about it. Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power. Health. Wealth. Knowledge of self. Uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.
All right, fam. We're going to be on real quick. Let's start the show.
You are now tuned in to Real Truth and Power, the show that uplifts the community with health, wealth, and knowledge of self. Here's your host, Everett Winchester.
All right, fam, peace and blessings. Welcome on in. We won't be long today. Just want to give you the trendy news of what's going on for today. Welcome in, family. Please, while we're at it, please do me a favor and there we go. Hit that like, hit that share, get that information out to the people, and let's just be great today. Let's just be great today. Let's start the show off. First, we want to talk a little bit about the National Guard. There's some stuff going on in D.C., and the Guard is like sealing off D.C. They have what they call what do they call it? They call it a green zone, and they have D.C. sealed out, and it's about to go down. The FBI is saying some crazy things, like we talked about a show about violence coming up on the inaugural day for the future President Biden. So let's take a look at it right quick.
Seen tonight in Washington, D.C., where a green zone perimeter has been established, roads shut down, and because of that video you just saw, the National Guard scouring for explosives and extremists, the incoming administration moving forward with the outdoor inauguration, and ABC's Kenneth Moten is there tonight.
Tonight, extraordinary security in the nation's capital. Officials taking no chances. Military reinforcements arriving by the plane load. National Guard troops coming from every corner of the U.S.
This mission is about protecting our republic itself. You're going to play a critical part in that at a time when our nation is in great need.
The 25,000 troops in the city by the inauguration have their orders. Watch for potential threats, look for explosives, protect the Capitol. Authorities say domestic extremists pose the most likely threat.
How serious is our country going to take domestic white extremism? And I think what we saw here last week is that we didn't take it seriously enough.
Tonight, the large security perimeter or green zone already tested. At least 3 people arrested in separate incidents, including 2 men carrying guns and ammunition. Tonight, the Guard setting up cots inside the Capitol. But the man tapped to review the security failures there, saying those troops can't be a permanent fixture.
We can't afford, nor should we want to have 20,000.
Wow. So as you can see, the National Guard is sealing off D.C. They're letting you know that they are expecting violence. So everybody that's in the D.C. area, we live in Baltimore, please, man, be safe. Also, we did another show, and they were saying that they expect violence in other states and in other cities. So we got to really be on point. That's Brother Jay Rich. We expect live coverage from you in D.C. on Wednesday. No, that's not for Real Truth and Power. I think we're going to lay in the cut and give you guys the news from afar. You know what I mean? I have to have my gun down there if I go. So I'm definitely not going to be around there. Um, and my community needs me there live. You know what? Let's think about it. I may shock y'all. Let's think about it. I may shock y'all. Um, Going on to other news. Today is MLK Day. And first of all, MLK's original birthday is on MLK's original birthday is on January 15th. So shout out, happy birthday to MLK. As we can see, our brother here, a great man. And he had some powerful missions that he did. I mean, he died for a cause. Nobody's perfect. I know a lot of people say a lot of negative things about Martin Luther King, but man, he did a lot. He died for a cause. So I got to respect our ancestor. You know, he fought for a lot of things. But he felt a certain kind of way before he died. And one of the reasons he died, I wanted to talk to you guys about. You know what? Let me show a video of Dr. Claude Anderson talking about it.
To be perfectly honest, even though I got enough degrees in human behavior and dynamics and sociology, I don't even understand that thrust. Because, see, integration itself is countermanding any possibility of you ever acquiring power and wealth. You cannot empower yourself at the same time you integrate. Integration, Paul, means disintegration. It means reducing yourself to a microspec. Because, see, in a society where the majority will win and rule and the minority will lose and suffer, why would anybody want to integrate? Integration is making black folk a guest. Integration means I will make you a guest. I will make you a guest in something that's owned and controlled by other people. I'll make you a guest in white suburbs, in white schools, in white businesses, in white organizations, in a white government. See, black folk can never acquire wealth and power as long as they're integrating. And what's going to happen, though, with this whole concept of integration, it's going to hold blacks in abeyance until these other groups, competing groups, come in and wipe them out and push them into a subclass structure. Now, you mentioned the busings, for instance. See, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen happen. See, my family, as an example, was a part of the family that owned the only black bus line that you've ever had in America. The only black chartered bus line you've ever had in America. And that was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That was a safe bus company. We didn't have just one bus, 3 buses, 5 buses, or 10 buses. We had over 500 buses. And our buses didn't just service the black neighborhoods. They serviced the black neighborhoods and the white neighborhoods, period. Mm-hmm. We put the white bus company out of business there. I mean, that was a Duke Power Company. Duke Power Company, named just like Duke University and Duke Electric Company. We put them out of business because we ran a very competitive bus line. Now, our bus line was vertically integrated for black folk, which gave us a power base, a wealth base, an employment base. We hired our own people. We bought our own buses, repaired our own buses, operated our own buses, had our own drivers, our own mechanics, and we serviced both neighborhoods. But what put us out of business was not our inability for us to compete. It was the fact that blacks decided to integrate down in Montgomery. And when Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks integrated the buses there, rather than going in and buying the bus line from the whites and taking it over and operating it under black control, they decided that it was much better in the context of integration, which was social. Let's just socialize with whites. If whites are sitting on the front of the bus and we sit on the back, let's move up front with them and let's integrate with them. Let's intermix and make it a social issue. And so black folk then moved from the back of the bus to the front of the bus. Like, who really cares?
There is a growing number.
But let me finish the point now. Here's what happened now. When that movement moved up to North Carolina and came to North Carolina, the blacks in North Carolina says, we also want to sit on the front of the bus. And in North Carolina, we said, but we don't have any white buses you can sit on the front of the white bus. They said, well, why don't you all get some white buses so we can sit on the front of them? So our bus company went out of business. So then they brought in white buses. Now whites run the bus line. And the same thing happened to our black cab companies and our black movie theaters and our black restaurants. Everything black went out of existence because black folk see integration as being a social issue and somehow they feel if they get closer to the white society, they're elevating their status, and they're not. They're disintegrating.
So that was Dr. Claude Anderson. For all those that know, I'm a huge Dr. Claude Anderson guy. You know, that's my guy straight off the bat. I'm actually reading a lot of his books. I have all of his books. This is a great book, A Black History Reader, 101 Questions You Never Thought to Ask, and of course, the staple, Powernomics. Everybody should have this book in their house. Everybody should have this book in their house. And I think what he was really trying to say, Dr. Claude Anderson, is something that Martin Luther King said before he died. Martin Luther King said, and I'm paraphrasing. I don't exactly know his correct quote, but he said that he felt like he led black people into a burning bush, um, a burning building, I believe that's what it was, because he's been fighting for equality, which was great. He was fighting for, everybody to not be segregated and to end segregation. But what he didn't realize was one of the major things that black people needed in order to be integrated with other races is we needed economic power. And he mentioned that before he passed. Martin Luther King had started talking about black economics and economic power instead of, integration. And that is the real reason a lot of people believe he passed away. So as we grow, like Malcolm X changed his philosophies and grew, Martin changed his philosophies and grew. Whenever you talk about economics and black people, you become very dangerous. And I think that's what Dr. Claude Anderson was saying. We understand we want to integrate. We don't want to sit on the back of the bus. But once we got to the front of the bus and we wanted to mix with other races and stuff, we forgot about owning the bus company. And Dr. Claude Anderson said his family owned the bus company. So I think that is very important that we talk about that and make sure that, we are definitely on point with a lot of the things that we're doing as far as black economics and supporting, black businesses. And so I think that is very important. And let's move on to the next topic. Appreciate you, late show. Thanks for the comments. There's a lot of arrests going on because of the how they took over the Capitol Center. Man, it's getting crazy. I believe somebody is just getting arrested. It's a female. She's getting arrested for stealing Nancy Pelosi. Hopefully I'm pronouncing the speaker's name right, but the Speaker of the House laptop. Now, I call that being a dumb criminal. You already breached the Capitol. That's kind of like a death sentence right there. And then you steal a politician, the Speaker of the House laptop. Do you believe in the law of the system? That's kind of crazy right now. So I'm a little shocked about that. But I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, and they just got somebody from Maryland that was in there. Let's check it out.
A Maryland man who calls himself a white supremacist has been arrested after he took part in the deadly siege at the U.S. Capitol. Brian Bettenker from Silver Spring told his probation agent on January 6 that he needed to travel to D.C. to sell Bibles. Instead, pictures on social media show that he appeared to be at the Trump rally. Federal agents then used GPS data to confirm his whereabouts and found that he was in D.C. and near the Capitol at the time of the riot. Bettenker is a convicted felon, and he is now facing federal charges.
So there we have it. We have an idiot that wants to be so proud that he's a white supremacist that I guess he thought he wasn't going to get caught. And they're arresting a lot of people. One thing you need to know is that the FBI doesn't play. The FBI doesn't play. If you mess around with the federal part of this government and you try to in some way take it over, white supremacists, black supremacists, whatever, they don't play that. It's like being a police officer. That FBI and that CIA, they don't mess around. So I'm very shocked that they haven't arrested more people. My main thing is what's going to happen when they're arrested. You steal the Speaker of the House laptop. People posing in the desk and on their desk and everything. An officer was killed. People were saying, grab that officer's gun. Crazy stuff. Kill the officer with his gun. And the white officer said that. I want to see what happens to them. This is more than just rioting and burning and looting your own neighborhoods. Something because you're frustrated. They took it to the next level. So let's see what the government says about that. Capilot Ram, I did check that out. Martin MLK real name was Michael, not Martin. His real name was too ethnic. I have to research that. I've never heard that. I gotta research that. So I can't confirm or deny that. I think you're a brother, but I can't confirm or deny that. But I will definitely look into that. That's interesting. I never heard anybody say his real name was Michael. That's new to me. And also he commented, Dr. Claude also said on the Breakfast Club, exactly, sitting on the front or back of the bus is about a fraction of a second quicker. Right. Yeah, it doesn't matter where you sit on the bus as long as you're on the bus, and at the same token, as long as you own the bus company. So we got to own it. I think that's one thing Dr. Claude said that was very powerful. He said we have to own, and he owned his. He owned his own company. So I thought that was powerful. And that's something interesting that you said. Was it that big a difference to sit in the front of the back of the bus? I guess we lost our sense of purpose, because when I started going to school and then I got younger, it wasn't even cool to sit in the front of the bus. So we're ignorant brothers not realizing the fight. We wanted to all hang out in the back of the bus. And the front of the bus is for older people or people that were kind of scared, as we thought was scared, but probably just didn't want to be picked on. So, that's something interesting as well. And let's keep it moving. Not going to be long today. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is just staying on code. As black people, we got to stay on code. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on in today's times. And for black people, we just got to stay on code. There has to be some things that we do as far as supporting each other. It has to be things that we do as far as, uplifting each other, being strong economically. And it's not going to happen over a day. We got to keep moving. We got to keep fighting. We got to keep staying focused. But I want to just make sure that we are on code with each other, which leads me to the word for today. And this is by Brother Jay Rich, my co-host, who's always on here, bringing the powerful value to our platform. So let me see if I got his video up here real quick, because we definitely want to support this brother. He's been doing some powerful things. Let me see if I got him. Hold on one second. Let's see if we can get him on here. And while I'm doing that, let me do one thing for you guys. Let me play this. I play this all the time, but let me see if I still got this sister's video.
In order to have a future, you have to know your past. My passion for African American history is the generations of foot soldiers, inventors, entrepreneurs, and educators who have shaped me into the woman that I am today. From the motherland to my beautiful city, Chicago, and around the world, as a travel historian, it's my obligation to honor and educate about the contributions of African Americans who have built this country. Be inspired.
All right, support that sister. Her name is Tammy Gibson. She has something called Sankofa on the Go, and she goes all over to some historical black sites, does emails and stuff like that. Why not storm the White House as the white man? It's little to no repercussions. I can get away with it like always. Well, why not storm the White House as a white man? It's a little to... Yeah, I agree. But I'm a brother, and they're going to shoot me right on sight. So I'm saying, before I get to the word of the day, oh, he definitely changed his name. Okay. I got to look into that. I did not know Martin Luther King had changed his name because it was too ethnic. That's crazy. I thought he was actually named after Martin Luther. Maybe I got to look into that. So let me go to the word of the day, and that is Brother Jay Rich. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can pull up his video. And I got my brother coming, and we're going to bless you guys with some powerful, powerful information.
I mean, much greater. One of the biggest things that the Asians have going for them is that the Asians have their own financial foundation here. So the Chinese can go to the Chinese banks, the Japanese can go to the Japanese banks, the Koreans can go to the Korean banks and get loans and get funding because they put money into, you know what I mean, into the neighborhoods or into like the Asian economy here in America. The Hispanics can come over, and with their large numbers in certain communities, as we've seen them do in Hyattsville, Maryland, demand that, you know what I mean, banks like Bank of America start giving them home and business loans. What we don't have, and what's one of the saddest things, is that most black banks put less money in black communities than traditional white banks. So that's one of the things that we absolutely positively have to change. The other thing is that there have been studies that have been done that we don't even get called in for interviews if our name is a certain way. If our name shows some type of ethnicity, we don't even get called in for an interview for a job. I mean, you can have like a doctorate degree. Each time that we like, again, like we stated before, once a community is built and it's 90% black, I can guarantee you, man, they're going to send in, you know what I mean, they're going to send in drugs, they're going to send in over police, and they're going to do whatever it is they can do to destroy that. And when you start talking about the prison system within this country and who they target, that also takes away from live bodies, man, of our race, man, that could be out working and gaining. That's people that have been taken out of the colleges, man, that could be furthering our race, our foothold here in this country. But you also have a lot of laws and a system that is set up for us not to prevail under any circumstances. It is set up for us not to prevail. It is set up so that a small fraction of our people will make it.
All right. We had some technical difficulty. I'm not sure what that was, but we are out of here. We'll get back to Brother Jay Rich later and make that happen, man. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Had some technical difficulties. Let me see if I can pull that video back up one more time and get to the part with Brother Jay Rich. So he had some powerful information. Hold on one second.
I mean, much greater. One of the biggest way. If our name shows some type of ethnicity, we don't even get called in for an interview for a job. I mean, you can have like a doctorate degree. Each time that we like, again, like we stated before, once a community is built and it's 90% black, I can guarantee you, man, they're going to send in, you know what I mean, they're going to send in drugs, they're going to send in over police, and they're going to do whatever it is they can do to destroy that. And when you start talking about the prison system within this country and who they target, that also takes away from live bodies, man, of our race, man, that could be out working and gaining. That's people that have been taken out of the colleges, man, that could be furthering our race, our foothold here in this country. But you also have a lot of laws and a system that is set up for us not to prevail under any circumstances. It is set up for us not to prevail. It is set up so that a small fraction of our people will make it so that they can dangle that carrot in front of you and be like, see, you just didn't work hard enough.
Wow. So Brother Jay Rich dropped some knowledge. Man, thanks for tuning in. We're going to start doing a lot more of these trending topics, especially as they come up. And we got some more powerful interviews coming up. I've been doing some interviews, just trying to hold them so we can do the right promoting on them. Man, just make sure you hit the subscribe button and share. We're going to be coming up with a lot of powerful shows. We're doing a lot of networking. We got a lot of people from overseas that's been trying to get interviews, man. A lot of connections with the Collective Black People Movement and with the UNIA. So shout out. And as we say, one God, one aim, one destiny. We are out of here. And thank you guys for tuning in.
Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it. Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.
Ashe.
Real truth and power, health, wealth, knowledge of self, uplifting the community. Let's talk about it.